I figured I may as well do this little training that I've been wanting to share with you guys for a hot minute now. If you've been watching my YouTube channel lately, you'll see that all of January I have been posting things about creating your vision board life and how to actually build a vision board that works. Now, I wanted to share a little bit of an activation tool, which is what I call it, that's going to help you basically create your vision board desires into your reality faster. And this tool is something that you can use mentally as like a framework anytime you want to access a desire, or you can actually do this in your journaling entry. So I'm going to use my trusty little whiteboard here to show you guys exactly how to do the tool. Let's do it. So what you'll see on here is two columns. The first column says do. Oh, let me hold this up properly. First column says do, and the second column says be. So I'm going to talk you through how to actually do this. When you put something on your vision board, for example, learn a language. For reference, my vision board, this is the image of the Japanese textbook that I got. So this, learn a language, right? That's the goal. Put that at the top of the do column because that's something we want to do. Now, underneath that, it's always helpful to break down the actual accomplishment of that goal into sub actions. So buy textbooks, done, because I literally bought my textbooks already. Practice an hour a day. That's something that actually requires you to go to your schedule and block that out. Once you do that, you can mark those off. And so there are subtasks that are required to achieve this goal. Now, as you can see, this goal is quite open-ended. Learn a language. It's quite generic, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this learn a language to something more measurable. For example, complete level 1 textbook, okay? So that goal is essentially this explained. So just for reference. And then from that, to complete level 1 textbook, I'm going to continue to break the subtasks until I basically have written down all the subtasks below. Okay, so listen to audiobook while I drive to work, do speaking practice, and I want to be specific, so 30 minutes a day. And one of my goals as well in relation to this was to watch a Japanese show, which I have actually started. So to basically get to this goal, all my subtasks, okay, ready. So this is what's going to activate your goal. If you have watched me and my content for a while, you know that what actually activates your vision board is not just the actions, like the doing that you do, but it's the being behind the doing. In fact, who you are being, how you are carrying yourself is what makes the difference, because many people try to do all of these things and still feel like they can't actually create the goal. And what typically happens is they'll have the list of things to do, but they can't seem to finish it because they keep self-sabotaging or delaying or procrastinating. So that is where the being comes in. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to do this when you journal if you want to access your vision board desires faster. So for every single sub action, so let's take the first one, buy textbooks. We're going to write who we are going to be, the kind of person we have to become in order to be a person that actually does these things naturally. Okay, so let me show you. So a person who is buying textbooks is someone who is willing to spend money on high quality resources. Because if you are not willing to spend on high quality learning resources, then you probably will not buy a textbook. And I almost didn't buy a textbook because I couldn't decide which one. And on top of that, the good quality ones that were recommended were really expensive, more expensive than I expected. And if I wasn't in the being of somebody who is willing to spend a lot of money on high quality learning resources, then I probably would not have ticked this off. If you're somebody who typically is stingy with your money, or who has never invested in buying any resources for a language, but that is a goal of yours, then that is where your being is going to mess it up. You're never going to even pass that stage. This is how self-sabotage happens, okay? So another one, I'm going to do an hour of learning a day. So the person I need to be to actually even achieve the 1 hour a day is someone who allocates time and is willing to sacrifice other pleasures. Okay, that is something that I need to acknowledge. I need to be a person who's willing to sacrifice in order to get that 1 hour a day. If I don't acknowledge this, or if I don't even get real with myself about how willing I am to sacrifice time, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep saying yes to all these hangouts. I'm going to keep going out, or I'm going to keep just distracting myself on Netflix, and I'm never going to get around to the 1 hour a day practice. Okay, so the being is what supports me being able to accomplish that. Here's another interesting one. Listen to audiobook on the drive to work. I wanted to begin listening to Japanese audiobooks so that I could get used to the language, pronunciation, and even pick up words, new words that I'm learning every day through hearing, because listening is different to speaking. So I want to get better at listening skills as well. So yes, it sounds easy to do, but again, we say we're going to do these things, but then we never actually get around to it. What's the secret? Well, the person we need to become in order to be a listener to an audiobook on the drive to work for language practice is we need to be somebody who is willing to learn language in the morning and be excited about it. See, I say is willing. You need to be someone who is willing to learn a language in the morning and be excited about it. I say that because when you are driving to work in the morning, it is not really the first thing you want to do. But if it is the most convenient time for you to listen to it and you want to develop that habit, you need to cultivate that willingness, and you need to learn to cultivate the excitement. The fact that you're about to learn new words and you're about to develop your language skills, that should excite you. You need to be a kind of person who gets excited to learn new words and to do it in the morning in order to be a person who would actually choose to open up the audiobook and hit play when you go to work, because it's much easier just to let the radio play. You know what I mean? So this is again how the being supports the doing, and why if you didn't work on the being, you would probably never get through your list. You just keep putting it off. This is the magic of this simple framework. Last one. Actually, second last one, speaking practice 30 minutes a day. So another thing when you want to learn a language is you want to do some practice actually speaking Japanese or speaking the language. So the person you need to be in order to actually achieve that is someone who is, this one's personal to me, is willing to sound cringy. Cringy, and to be slow, and to mess up often. See what I've done right here? I have acknowledged all the things that I would usually think about that would turn me off from actually doing my speaking practice. I've acknowledged that I'm going to sound cringy. I've acknowledged that I'm going to sound really slow speaking the language and I'm going to mess it up often. But because I'm willing to be that, then I'm most likely going to have the perfect setup to actually do my practice, because I'm willing and acknowledging. And every person who's learning language will literally tell you this is how you're going to start. But you need to be willing to be that in order to be able to do this. Because let's say I didn't have the being backing my doing, and I was like, here's my list, here's how I'm going to learn a language. I'm going to do 30 minutes of speaking practice a day, and that was it. If I thought about that right now, without acknowledging that I need to be willing to do these things and even embodying the energy of somebody who is willing to sound cringy, I'm probably just going to keep procrastinating on that. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it there actually, because this video is going to take forever, but you get the gist. This is how it works. The doing and the being columns. This is how you're going to activate your vision board faster. You're going to do your goal at the top. You're going to write the subtasks related to that goal make it super specific. And then for every subtask, you're going to draw a line across and identify what is the being. Who do you need to be? Who do you need to become in order to be a person that does that naturally? And that is the key here. The key here is getting to a place where what you write on your being is not a form of striving. It's more of an embodiment of a certain energy, of certain qualities, characteristics, that then when you embody it, it just makes sense. Like the next natural logical thing to do is to do the thing that's on the do list. Remember, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are being when you do it. This is how we activate our vision and our vision boards, okay? I hope this helped you. And if you want more like this, I'm going to be dropping tips all throughout February in my private Facebook group as well. So make sure you check that out. I go live quite often through the week, sharing little practical tips like this to help you elevate and step into the embodiment of your most abundant and authentic self this year. So join me inside. I'll drop that in the community section of my page, and I hope this helped you. Bye. Oh God. I'm like, that wasn't the turn off button. Okay, bye for real.